Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Great Day Houston. Thank you very much. Okay, so when it comes to raising kids, how many of us just cross our fingers and hope for the best? Well, imagine being responsible for 25, 45 or more children, and they ain't even yours. Teachers do it every day. Sometimes our first guest had to laugh to keep from crying. Eddie B used to be a teacher, and that was enough material to make a career change. He now says what teachers wish they could say, but in the interest of staying employed, they just turn to Eddie. All right. Yeah, okay, you know, teachers, God bless them, I think they go into the rooms like, I'm going to teach, and don't realize they're going to be a counselor, they're going to be a security guard, they're going to be all kinds of things.
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, they're this close from going crazy. Like, I'd say there's like 75% of teachers didn't want to teach. That was not their first choice, I guarantee you.
Really? Because it was not your first choice?
No.
Yeah. Okay. But it was kind of a silver lining to this, because that's how you ended up in the position you are right now. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit, including a sitcom deal coming around the corner and the whole bit. Yes. So that is probably one of the biggest lessons you learned, is that you can have a goal of doing something and God might have other plans.
All the time.
Okay.
Your plans are never his plans. I know that for a fact. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, we'll get schooled by Eddie in a minute. But first, let's check in with Russ Lewis to catch up with headlines in the news this morning. Hi, Russ.
It's going to be fun, Deborah. Thanks. We have a few stories breaking right now that we're tracking this morning, starting in Clear Lake's El Lago neighborhood. A widow whose husband actually died in the Challenger space shuttle crash escaped her burning home. Cheryl McNair's house caught fire just before 5 this morning. Now, fortunately, she is okay, but her house is a total loss. Firefighters did manage to save some of her late husband Ronald McNair's Challenger memorabilia. From USA Today, Barbara Bush blaming Donald Trump for a heart condition that she called a heart attack. This story comes from Susan Page's upcoming biography on the former First Lady. She talked about the medical emergency from back in 2016 during the presidential race, and how Donald Trump's attacks on her son Jeb really upset her. If you want to read more about this, you can head over to our website at khou.com. Let's get to our Rush Block headlines now. Today's other big stories. We're starting with a man trying to buy a PlayStation. He ended up in a gunfight. Police say the interested buyer was sitting in his car when a masked man carrying a rifle walked up. The two men got into a shootout and the masked man was killed. Police believe that this was a setup and the buyer acted in self-defense. The Harris County attorney has the green light now to sue ITC over the Deer Park fire. County commissioners unanimously approved the move yesterday. County Attorney Vince Ryan says the goal is to prevent a disaster like that fire from ever happening again. Parts of the Houston Ship Channel still closed from that fire, and that could mean $1 billion lost for Houston's economy.
Professor Maria Burns told the Houston Chronicle about $500 million is from the cost of delayed shipments and lost supply chain materials for companies. And another $500 million is from indirect expenses from the impact of rerouted and canceled shipments.
We'll learn more about when the Ship Channel might reopen this afternoon. The future of the Affordable Care Act up in the air. This week, the Justice Department sided with a federal judge who ruled the law unconstitutional. If that ruling stands, millions would be impacted.
White House officials insist President Trump will work to keep patient protections in place.
Democrats are promising to fight the issue in Congress. All right, time to talk weather now, and meteorologist Blake Matthews is in for Cheetah this morning. Hey, Blake.
Hey, thanks a lot, Russ. Shaping up to be a beautiful day here across southeast Texas. There's a live look out over the city right now. Hardly a cloud to be found. We will see a slight increase in clouds later on this afternoon. Temperatures on their way up as well. We're at 58 now after bottoming out at 50 this morning here in Houston, 63 at Hobby, 64 in Galveston, and 57 degrees out there in Brenham. Temperatures today warming on up into those mid-70s. We should be pretty close to 76 degrees by the time we get to 4 o'clock. Steph?
Northbound side of your Gulf Freeway at Telephone Road. You can see just behind the sign here, we do have some blinking lights. That's a solo crash, and that car did catch fire. So you can see a slow dance up the freeway here. You want to stay on the frontage road because traffic is barely moving in that area. And then take a look at the Beltway, North Beltway, eastbound lanes. Not a big delay, but you are going to see action with, again, a party of one crash. This located at Lockwood Drive. Russ.
All right, Steph, thank you. Right now, the James Beard Foundation is announcing nominations for this year's awards. We'll be live streaming those announcements this morning. You can read all about the nominees on khou.com. And we're also diving into the chefs nominated here in Houston. That's coming up on our news at noon. Deborah, I always love looking at those nominations because it lets me know when I've missed a good chef or a good restaurant here in Houston.
Yeah, well, oftentimes we have those chefs that have been nominated or won the James Beard Award right here on Great Day Houston. I'll let you know next time so you can come on over and enjoy some food with us.
Would love that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Russ. So in trending news, Dr. Dre celebrated the fact that his daughter got into USC all on her own. Or did she? Others are accused of downright cheating on tests. Dr. Dre did the right way. Just a donation of $70 million a few years ago. It was to support the Academy for Arts, Technology, and the Business of Innovation named after him. Comedian Eddie B is still with us. Used to be a teacher. And okay. So you were sharing something during the break there. You said,
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the Dr. Dre situation, I say, you know, he probably had a hard life growing up, and he wasn't able to afford stuff, so he can afford to give a prestigious university that much money to get his daughter in, you know.
No, he said he did not. No, he said,
strategically.
His tweet said he said, look, he posted on Instagram. She got in on her own. He is so proud of her.
Yeah, but the donation a long time
That was
ago.
a few years before.
Oh, that was before.
Yes,
That had nothing to do with that. Look at that face. Look at that face. That is not a face of a man who would. Look here, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna say that.
Okay. Something on a little more of the serious side, but you were teaching junior high, so you've seen this kind of stuff. 12 Tomball students are under investigation for sexting because they're sending pictures to each other. Now, back in our day, you just catch somebody in the bathroom or something like that. But now
we didn't have phones.
Yeah, we didn't have phones.
We had beepers. You had to pay somebody.
So you're thinking these kids they're just being innovative. They're just keeping up with the times.
That what you call it?
Yeah.
No, my thing is, man, leave them kids alone, man. They gonna do that anyway. You can't stop what they doing on their phone. Like, cartoons are not even cartoons anymore. You know, we used to have Tom and Jerry, and there was never words, but we understood everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Now cartoons turn into Adult Swim after a certain time.
Yeah.
And so they still watching that. So, man, they didn't sex no teacher, or it wasn't like that. Leave them kids. You can't do. Who grabbed the phone?
Yes.
Who grabbed the phone?
Well, you know who should have been grabbing the phone? I look
Yeah.
at my son's phone.
Parents.
He has no idea he's in school right now. So he had. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at all of it. I look at all of it.
That's good. You're a great parent. Some parents just let them be on their phone and just say, as long as you leave me alone, we're good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that sometimes, not all the time. You got to watch them these days because everything's like social media is set up for them to just. I mean, they're turning them in those areas. So you can't do nothing about it. But what you can stop. But they at school sexting, texting. Look, man, leave that alone. And don't grab. Why you grabbing the phone, looking at the stuff they sexting and texting? Leave them alone, man.
Leave them alone. Did you allow kids to have their phones in the classroom?
Exactly. Don't have your phones out. You know,
Yeah.
keep your phones off. And if I see them, I'm taking them. You know, and I tell them, look, and if I take it, I'm making a long distance call to China. If I'm taking it, I'm gonna run your rates up. If I take your phone, I'm running your rates up. What's the problem?
So how is it dealing with parents? Because again, that's a whole nother level. You can deal with the student, but then when the parents are part of the process with you, yay, great. But then sometimes you get those parents who just quite aren't.
Man, sometimes you don't get parents.
Yeah,
period.
right?
Like back in the day, you know, my mom used to pay attention every now and then. Remember your mom used to pop up on you at school sometimes?
Yes,
You was scared, you never knew. And she always come embarrass you because you had that house coat on with no button on it.
Yeah.
And she wanted to embarrass you.
And the pink foam rollers in her hair,
I'm
right?
telling you,
Like,
she wanna
Mama, take the
embarrass
pink
you.
foam rollers out.
Basically, what that was is just to promote you acting right in school. Now these parents are not involved at all. Man, like being a teacher, we get no parent support in a lot of situations because we get a contact sheet. When you enroll your kid in school, we need to be able to contact you if something happened.
Yeah.
Well, on this contact sheet, none of the numbers work. None of the numbers work.
It was cut off or something, okay. Or they just gave you another number so you can't call them.
So we can't call nobody.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's like
interesting
the
because
biggest pet peeve.
there's kind of a tale of two cities. There are the parents that like really want their kids to not just succeed, over succeed. And I started school in Taipei, Taiwan, and I remember we had a rude awakening because it was like, my mom goes, well, apparently, congratulations on your 100 on your test. And I was like, thanks. She goes, apparently you were supposed to make a 105.
Wow.
Your teacher wants to know why you didn't do the extra credit.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, different level of expectations.
Yeah. Well, my school, 70 mean congratulations on your graduation. That's passing. It worked with God too.
Yeah.
You don't got, God will let you pass with a 70 in life. You ain't got to be nice to everybody every day. You got one day to just talk crazy. That's your 70. God got you.
Yeah, you got to leave
Tell me.
room for improvement. Okay.
Look at that.
See, that's
See?
what I was trying to do because 105 meant, oh, perfect, no more to do. No, I wanted to leave room for improvement.
Hey, you're Deborah Duncan. You're the best. Hey.
All right, more laughs with comedian Eddie B when we come back.